preparing you over the last few weeks to say that there's things that you didn't know about me. So this first vlog, because there's going to be a series over the couple of days, and this is the first one. And the first one is, here's the things that you don't know about me. I'm moody. I'm grumpy. I'm physically challenged many times over. People find me difficult to bear. I'm in your face. I say exactly how it is, how I see it from my perspective. When I teach you, when I guide you, I tell you your truth to what I see from what you tell me. What I see is not what other people see. What I hear is not what other people hear. I learn from my students as well as teach them. I am a guided light. Why do I know this? Because I work with a power of 3. What is that? Do you know what the power of 3 is? I'll tell you. It's the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. I was touched by Jesus at the age of 12 years old. I was fascinated by that man, our greatest healer of all time. He touched me in such a way that I wanted to learn everything about him. And when I was at school, that was the one thing I wanted to learn. I did religious education to a very high degree. I wanted to actually pass and qualify my qualification. My religious studies teacher was fascinated by me. Wanted to know how I knew so much about this amazing man called Jesus Christ, who walked our land long before our times. And I turned my back on my faith. I turned my back on Jesus. Why? Because I failed at that exam. I did not qualify. I was angry. I was hurt. I turned vengeful. I turned my back on my faith. I turned my back on Jesus. And I went into a life of self-destruction and self-sabotage beyond belief. That part you do know. What you don't know is, I was then touched once again at my final suicide attempt when I was 13 years old. I was touched by an archangel called Michael, my guiding light. That's who guides me, the highest ranking angel that there is up in the heavens above. I was touched by that person. Do you know what he looks like? Oh my God, he is awesome. He is like 7 foot tall with great big massive white wings with iridescent blue tips. What did that guy tell me, that guide? He told me that he was my protector, and that's why he uses his shield. That's why he's got armour on. And he told me that he cuts away anything that no longer serves me with his big massive sword. This being was huge. Was I scared? No. I felt as if I had been saved. And that was what turned my life around onto my road to recovery. So, on my road to recovery, I experienced many things. First, I started the beauty therapy industry. You all know this. And I struggled with that, going back to school, getting my head round about that factor that when I left school at 15 years old, and 15 years later, here was I back at school. Whoa, that was a journey. However, I continued and I went back for a second year and did beauty therapy level 3. During then, I learnt the gift of touch and how it makes such a difference to someone's life when you touch them with love. Now, all I'd learnt prior to that was that what love did was destroy people. I'd never learnt that loving someone actually helped me. I always had learnt that loving someone caused me destruction and pain, and I was always told to stop wearing my heart on my sleeve. That was my conditionings and trainings, that was my tests in life. And here was I in the college doing massage, learning massage and learning that when I physically felt as if I wanted to love someone enough to heal them, all I needed to do was power up with love. And my simple touch healed people's lives, healed their pain, healed their suffering, all with the power of the gift of touch and love. The power of love, the gift of touch, healed people's pain and suffering, even if it was just for that few hours or that few days until their next treatment a week later. They felt loved by the gift of my touch. That's what I learnt, that the power of love, along with the gift of touch, healed people's pain and suffering. That's what I learnt from Beauty Therapy Level 3, people. Then I went to my HNC, complementary therapies, learning aromatherapy and Swedish massage, Indian head massage and reflexology. What did I learn from that? What I learned was that when I was working on people, I physically felt what they were feeling. I physically did. I knew that they were in pain. I knew where their pain was. I knew where they were suffering, and I told them how to fix it. It just came bubbling out my mouth. I would physically feel it in my own body. So when they were in pain somewhere in their body, I felt it too. That's something that people don't know about me. When I work on you, I feel what you feel. If you're in pain, I physically am in pain. If you want to cry from the inside out, I feel that. I physically feel that when I work on you. And that's what makes me that little bit more different from any other therapist that I've ever came across. I feel what you feel. I take on your pain. I take on your suffering and I remove it from you. I teach you the ways. I guide you the way and how to. The rest of it is up to you whether you take on my advice. The rest of it's up to you whether you want to heal or not. I do my part. I teach you the way. I give you the guiding light. It's up to you whether you take that part or not. I continued on my travels. I opened up a salon, a beauty salon, called Spangles Beauty. Why did I call it that? Because everybody I knew called me Spangle. Why did they call me Spangle? Because they didn't think I was anything more than a nana brain. Quite frankly, they thought I was a spangle. So that's what I got called. So my way of coming back at that was to show people that I was more than just a spangle. I do have a brain. I do have a heart. I do have feelings. And I bounced back with Spangles Beauty. Showing people that I was more than just a spangle. I was a businesswoman. And I had learnt a trade that was going to take me places. And what did I experience during that? I experienced a client who came from Aberdeen for a facial, a simple facial. And at the end of that facial, I was gobsmacked, which took me onto the road of Reiki. During that experience, I was doing the massage part of the facial to find that my whole room lit up like the sun had just fell into it. I was a bit bemused at the time what was going on. I was a bit scared as well. But I worked out that my client had experienced it as well, and her eyes were closed. Not open like mine, they were closed. And she experienced the same thing I did, what I seen with my very own eyes. She seen with her eyes closed. And she said to me that she'd been to many Reiki masters in Aberdeen and never experienced anything like what I had just gave her. I wasn't qualified in Reiki at that time. So how could I have that gift? I was touched by something. I was touched by light. So that was my learning from that experience. First I had the experience of love. The power of love healed lives. And here was me again with the power of light. Love and light heals people and transforms their ways. That's what I learnt from that, and I went on to do Reiki. I I closed that business down. Why? Because I lost faith in myself. I lost faith in what my capabilities were. I lost faith on who I was as an individual and what I was. I became very confused and construded. And then I shut the place down, I moved on forward, and I opened up a business in Portsoy called Purity Holistic Beauty. Why did I call it that? I had done the Reiki system by then. I had went up to the master teacher level. And during my process of opening that place up, I had an experience where I was being stopped in the street asking me if I was the person who had been in Macduff, who did all the Reiki stuff. So I thought, okay, that's a sign for me to open up again. So I got myself a salon, I opened the place up, called it Purity Holistic Beauty, because that is what I had transformed into. I had transformed from being the Spangle who was in beauty, who went into a state of purification, and I purified people's souls through the touch of love, my gift of touch of love, through filling them with an abundance of light from my being. Wow, holistic beauty very, very much got transformed. And when I was building up Purity, there was a day where my partner and I, that I was going out with at the time, took me to go and get some products, wet wall, to make the shower. And I experienced something that none of yous know. I was touched by Jesus once again. I experienced a stigmatic experience. I felt the thorns on my head. I felt as if there was blood running down my face. I felt the nails going driven into my hands. Not there in the palm, in there, just below the wrist, just above the palm of the hand. This is where the nails got driven into when he went on that cross. That was painful to have them sear through me. I felt my feet sitting on top of one another and nails being driven into my feet. The pain and suffering that man suffered when he went through being put on a cross to save our being. I felt that physically. I was stuck in my car, not able to move for well over 45 minutes with that experience. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. I just sat there and experienced the pain and suffering of that man bearing upon the cross. That man who went out to try and save us and teach us his ways of love, harmony and balance. He was trying to teach us all that the power of love conquers all. He was trying to teach us that spreading the light across the world would teach us how to be in a place of love, harmony and balance across the globe. Did we listen to that man? No. We are still living in a world of separation and division. When are we going to wake up and see what it is that we need to be? We need to be complete. We need to be whole. How do we do that? By providing love and light into our physical being. To walk the land filled with love, filled with light, and to shine yourself well bright in every which way possible. Are you ready to do that? P.S. And I am off the wall. I am a little bit crazy, because that's how you want to perceive me. Me, I speak my truth. I say it how I see it. I say it how I feel it. I say it how I think it. If you can't deal with that, then you have work to do. What life do you want? A life filled with magic? And seeing the awe of the beauty of the world? Or do you want to continue living in a life of separation and division where there's wars all over the world? Do you want love, harmony and balance in your life? Serenity, tranquility and beauty surround you every day? Do you want to see that? Or do you want to see wars, negativity, destruction of the soul? You have a choice. You can continue to live in this world of separation and division, or you can walk by my side and transform it into a place of recovery. I then experienced Jesus standing by my side while I did treatments, guiding me to where my hands should go onto people's physical bodies to help heal them. It was like a green glow. Green glow is healing hands. Then I had his wife join us, Mary Magdalene. Yes, that's something you all don't know. Some of you do. And Mary Magdalene was about forgiveness. She came in about to my life to tell me about how to forgive myself and how to forgive the people who had hurt me in my life. As I continued on my journey, I experienced all different kinds of ascended masters joining me. Buddha, Lady Tara, the list goes on and on. It is amazing the information you receive when you work with spirit. The journey continues, as you will soon see. Check the geese! Geese! I love seeing geese like that. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 geese! Wow! Number 7, again, has got to do with Christ consciousness. When it comes to numerology, number 7 has got to do with Christ consciousness. That's a message for me to say that I'm continuing with my quest to do with Jesus Christ. I then moved on my business from purity and I was guided. Now when I talk about guided, I talk about what I channel in. And what I talk about when I talk about channeling in is about me talking to my own spirit, the spirit of me. And I ask, out there, what is for me now? Guide me the way. Show me the light at the end of my tunnel. And I got guided up to Elgin. And I took on a healing centre. It was a great big massive shop, about 5 times bigger than what I'd ever had before. And I turned it into Purity Holistic Healing Centre. So I came away from the beauty industry. It was time for me to retire from that and to pass it on to the person who'd been working with me. So I passed on my beauty industry to an amazing girl called Kim Mackay. Her potential was massive. I could see the potential in her. The faith I have in that girl is amazing. I still believe in her to this day. And yeah, Kim Mackay, you are awesome, girl. I still see you as my little protege. I still see you as my little under my wing. And I will still guide you every which way you can in life should you require my services. So I moved on and I went to do the healing centre and I took it on. And out of nowhere, I took on a business partner, a soul partner. And we travelled the journey for 3 more months. And we separated, and the business separated and fell apart. Everything fell apart. And that's what happened when you lose faith in one another. This is what happens when you lose faith in yourself. No 2 people can stay together if they do not believe in one another. No 2 people can stay together if they don't believe in themselves. And that is what I learned from that experience. My road there would have been a blissful place if I'd only believed in him. And if I'd only believed in myself. If I'd only believed in what was for me. But I turned my back on that. And we fell apart. And so did the business, so did I, and we parted ways. But my journey continued. And I ended up wondering what I was going to do next. And I became a writer. After becoming an international best-selling writer, international best-selling author through anthology projects, that took me across the globe. People know my name everywhere. I got involved with more projects. I knew this though, I knew this was going to happen. I got told this back in Purity Holistic Beauty through a meditation I had, a treatment I was given, and I had a vision telling me that I was going to go global next. Didn't know how it was going to happen, I just knew it was going to. And here it was, right in front of my platter. I became an international best-selling author through self-help books, through inspirational healing books. And I grabbed them every which way they came. I've now got 4 of them out on the market right now, joined with other people. And I have these connections all over the globe due to it. My next step was to become a life coach. That was my next guidance. I then took on a business coach, Kate Gardner. Absolutely amazing. She kicks my ass right in a gear. She makes me accountable for absolutely everything in my life. She's the one who guides me in my light now. And I knew that there was something else that you needed to know. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how I was going to tell you. I didn't know how I was going to take my shining light out to you. My shining light is the power of 3. There's me, my daughter, my son. Power of 3. That continues throughout my life. I've got a mother, a father, a sister. Power of 3. I have a mum, a dad and a stepdad. Power of 3. There's me and my 2 children. Power of 3. Power of 3 comes up for me all the time. What is the power of 3? I'll say it again. The Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. That's where it works through me. I work with divinity. I'm up at that level in Monadics, working with divinity. I have experienced all sorts of things. I have physically seen people walk about like you and me, but they're spirits and not physical beings. I have seen a galactical council come into my healing space and work with me. That blew me away, seeing all these different kinds of alien nations sitting in my company, telling me that if I did their work, they would make sure my business continued, that my work would never stop. And no matter how many times I fall on my arse, I'm still here, my business still grows, my business still flourishes. Power of 3. And then finally, my marriage fell apart. And that took me to my knees. And my children told me that I still needed to go to Spain and find out what was out there for me. What did I find out there? Wow. Amazing families, beautiful people, an amazing student, and a twin flame specialist who gave me the name of who I was meant to be with. My God, that blew me for 6. And you know something? It's because I knew she was telling me the truth. The man who I worked with as a partner in the healing centre of Elgin, that is my soul partner. That's who I'm meant to be with. Oh, so that information blew my socks off, and I had to then work on me. If I had any chance of my soul partner being with me, I needed to find divinity. The divinity of me. That meant some serious hardcore work. And I went within to really find what it was I was looking for. And what I was looking for was a power of 3. I was looking for divinity. And on my way home, I experienced that it was time for me to go and sit and really focus on me. So I went to get something to eat, and I was sitting having my fruit pot and my salad, the start of my raw vegan diet, which I'm not very good at, but that's beside the point. At the time, I sat there and I thought, I wonder who served me today. And I looked at my receipt, and what was the name on the receipt? It was Jesus, people! The guy who served me at the counter that day, his name was Jesus. Now, if that's not a message from up above, then I don't know what is. Here was me sitting there thinking to myself, who served me today? And I got given Jesus. Nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I smiled and I shone, and I just thought, my God, my belief is now being restored in the power of 3. So then I continued on my journey, and I was drawn to the gates that you go through as you're going through to get your flight home. And as I looked up, I don't know what I was thinking about. I think I was thinking about the whole experience of being served by Jesus today. When I walked through that gate and I looked up to see what the gate was saying, because there was a message on the gate, and what did it read? God, have a pleasant flight. Oh my God, God just spoke to me when I was on my way home from Spain. Wow, what a journey. And since then I've came home and I've thought to myself, what is it that I need to be? What is it that I need to be doing now? I need to shine brightly. That's what I need to be doing now. I need to get in touch with my divine being self. So this is the last piece of me that you people don't know. I am the power of 3. I work with divinity. I am a spiritual being of light. Do not be misunderstood. I am not of a religious cult. I do not follow a religion. This is my church. Nature. I can talk to God anytime I want. I ask and I receive. Do you? Is my road to recovery. This was always my secret to my success. It was working with divinity. Are you ready to start your road to recovery and reunite with your spirit and become complete and whole, to find love, to find harmony, and to find balance within your life? If you are, you know where I am. Much love. Mwah. Bye. I now believe that I am one of Jesus' children. Why would he be any different from you and me? He was human. He walked the earth the same as you and I. He was in love. He experienced pain and suffering beyond belief. He touched people's lives. He was an enlightened being. He was our greatest teacher as a healer. Our greatest healer teacher. And that is what my path is. That is what my journey is to walk the lands, spreading the teachings of a spiritual being. I am one of Jesus' children. We are all God's children.